Everyone's curious. So.
Yeah, it's Rees-Zammit. I've heard many different ways of saying it, but Rees-Zammit. I mean, I'm not too fussed, but I guess that's what it is.
All right, let's get rolling, guys.
What's this been like for you, learning curve wise? First off, not on the field, but off the field, learning plays. I've watched some rugby. I don't quite understand the game.
Yeah.
You guys don't have plays like we run here. It's a little more free flowing. What's it been like to study that part?
Yeah, I mean, it's completely different. Obviously, in rugby, it's very free flowing. Unless you get a set piece in rugby, that's when you call a play. So there's probably 20 to 30 plays a game. Whereas here, you're talking hundreds. So it's been interesting to learn the playbook. Obviously, we're only a few installs in. I've only been here for a week. But yes, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
How do you feel it went for you this week?
Yeah, it was a good week, really good week. It was great to meet all the boys. Great to dive deep into the playbook, as I said earlier. But yeah, it's been a good week overall, and definitely helped doing rookie mini camp. Getting reps, because I'm a very the way I learn is like actually doing the reps. So it was a great 3 days.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, Matt, go ahead.
What prompted you to want to do this?
Sorry?
What prompted you to want to
Well, obviously my dad was a big NFL fan growing up, and he wanted to play the sport. He played American football back in the UK. It wasn't an option to come out here and play, but growing up as a kid, I've always watched it. Every Sunday I've been staying up late. Obviously the time difference is 5 to 6 hours, so it'd be early hours in the morning for me. But yeah, I've my dad's a massive mentor for me and a role model. So it was just about when I was going to do it, and I achieved everything I wanted to in rugby. So I thought now was the perfect time.
What have the daily conversations been like with your dad, just talking about what this experience has been like this weekend?
Yes, it's great conversations. He's massively into American football, so the questions he's been asking me are, tricky ones to answer. But yeah, it's been great. Talking to my parents. Obviously, they're back in the UK. Time difference has been hard, but I've spoken to them every day, and they're really happy for me.
There were a bunch of teams interested because of your athleticism and whatnot. When you're trying to pick a team from afar, how much did the Chiefs' recent success be like? Okay, I think that is where I'd like to potentially be.
I think it's more the coaches. They got unbelievable coaches here, and it was where I was going to learn the best. The best group of boys. It was just about having a plan for me, and being able to prove what I can do, and being able to translate my rugby skills into football. So it's been great on that side.
Lewis, did you see yourself as a running back? I guess in the lead up to this, there was some possibility that maybe you could play receiver.
Mm-hmm.
How do you envision yourself in this league?
So obviously, I've been put in the running back group to start with. I think there's going to be a versatile role for me. I'm hoping, the coaches are very creative here, so see what they can do. But it's all about me learning the playbook and learning the game, because without that, I can't do anything else. So, I'm fully focused on, the now. I got to make the team. How am I going to do that? I've got to perform on the field. I've got to learn the playbook, and then we'll go from there.
Growing up watching those games in the morning, who were the NFL players that you and your father admired the most?
So Deshaun Jackson was was pretty much my role model growing up. From the age of probably 11 or 12, I used to watch him on YouTube all the time. So he was definitely one. His speed was absolutely outrageous. His change of direction was unbelievable. The deep balls he was catching. But yeah, he was the main player that I would watch growing up.
When you see Xavier out there, does that kind of remind you a little bit? You're a pretty fast guy yourself. When you see Xavier, you're like, oh man, that's fast.
Yeah, Xavier is quick. Xavier is quick. And there's no surprise how he broke the record, the 40-yard dash. So he's looking great out there.
Just want to know the biggest challenges in the translation from rugby to football.
Yeah, I'd say when I get the ball in my hand, it's pretty similar. Getting open field space. It's about how I do that. So if I'm in the backfield, the footwork, I'm used to being able to pick gaps, use my awareness. Route running is obviously completely new to me. Being able to accelerate and decelerate, pretty much at the same time is pretty tricky. But yeah, the more reps I do, the better I'll get, and it's going to take time. It's definitely going to take time, but I'm willing to put the work in.
Luis, you went to Patrick's kind of camp of sorts in Texas. What was that experience like?
Oh, it was amazing. All the quarterbacks and receivers were there. We were running routes. We were working in the gym, working on different movements with Bobby. So yeah, it was a great 2 weeks, and yeah, I definitely learned. I learned a lot with Pat and all the other boys.
Is he kind of like a coach down there with you?
Yeah, 100%. I'm new to the game, so I'm trying to pick everyone's brains and try and pick up the sport as quick as possible because I want to be out there playing. So the way I can do that is by picking the brains of everyone that's currently here and trying to learn the game as quick as possible.
Mackenzie in the back.
Yeah, I talked with some local rugby coaches that said the transition from rugby to football might be a bit easier. Do you agree? And how has the transition been for you? Is it kind of how you thought it would go?
Easier. I don't know about easier. I think being at the running back position is easier because I can get the ball earlier, as opposed to being out playing wide receiver. Is obviously different, and catching you catch laterally, and in rugby you don't catch forward. So that's been a bit different, and I'm just loving like being able to work and work on all these crafts because the more I can do, the more I can try and help this team.
All right, we're gonna go last three. PJ, Jesse.
I know, playing for Wales takes you all around the world. Just have you been in America a bunch, and has there been a transition living here now?
So my family holiday every year was to Florida. So I've been to America a lot. I've trained in Atlanta for the past 3 years with Coach Chip Smith. So I've been doing a few things to try and prep myself for this. So yeah, it's not too different. I've always wanted to live in America, so this was the perfect time. Try and make it in the NFL and live over here.
Have you ever been to an NFL game over there? Have you ever attended an NFL game before?
So I've been to 2 games back home.
London and Wembley?
Yeah, so one was in Wembley, one was in the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Last year I went to watch the Packers versus the Giants. I've actually never been to an NFL game in America, but I've been to the indoor league game, like the arena football. I went there when I was like 15. So and I remember one of the quarterbacks of the team after the game threw the ball to me, and my brother's a bit taller than me, and he went over the top and stole the ball, which I was devastated about. But yeah, that was kind of my experience over here.
We'll wrap it up over here.
You broke free on a pass yesterday. I just wonder what that felt like to kind of show what you could do.
It's amazing. It's amazing. When there's open field, I feel like I'm playing rugby again. So, I can use my awareness. When I am in space, then that's when I can cause the most damage. So, the more I can do that, the more I can help the team.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.